Okay, welcome to Gail's Garden Herbs and More. Yeah, just a little bit more on Tulsi. It is such a wonderful herb. It's just that which Tulsi is medicinal. I have heard so many different things on it. At first, I used to know there were a lot of different types of basils, but I thought there was just one Tulsi. Then I found out there were three Tulsis. Now I hear there's four Tulsis. Well, I've got three different kinds now. I don't have four. And it's very difficult because even the nursery where I got my last ones don't seem to know a lot about it. This one is called Kapoor. They did tell me that. They only had one left of it. Now, this is the one where when you take your hand and you ruffle over it, oh, it smells wonderful. And this is the one that most people make their teas out of and stuff. And the funny thing is, this is the one most people have, but yet it's the one that's has the least amount of medicine. But it's okay. Still use it. It's still good. It still has some in it. It's just maybe not quite as powerful as the others, from what I'm reading and picking up. Like I said, I seem to get a little bit of conflicting ideas on it, and then a lot of new ideas, and they're also making new strains of stuff like this all the time. So okay, so that is what they are telling me from the nursery is called Kapoor. Then, this one here is called Tree Tulsi. Now, since I've moved up here in the mountains, it's colder and a rougher winter. So mine died back. I have seen videos of people that have regular big trees, and I have heard that they can get up to like 5 feet tall. So, but mine died back, but you can still kind of see the woody, it almost looks like little trees or something. That all died, but it is coming back, as you can see. This is probably, from things that I've read, I hate to be real strong about it, saying this is the most medicinal, but from what I've read, it looks like the tree Tulsi is probably the most medicinal one of the three that I have. It has, one of the things that it has is like, I think it's called eugenol, if I'm pronouncing that right, like cloves. They all have it, and there's other compounds they have as well. It's just that some of the Tulsis have more of one than the other. This is one of them, from what I'm looking at, that has the most percentages of the medicine, the stuff in it that's really good for you. So what I am doing is mixing my Tulsis together. Last year I had two, this one and what's called Kapoor. And what I did was I just mixed them together and used them. So it's really, really good for you. Now, I have talked about Tulsi before and some of the benefits and stuff like that, so I'm not going to get into all that. Let me show you my third Tulsi that I have. I will say that one of the things it's good for is keeping, it's good for your eyes and keeping cataracts down. And I do have the beginnings of that, the doctor said. So I really want to be taking this stuff every day. I've got to get back on it. Now, this is the third Tulsi. Now, this one doesn't smell as good as my Kapoor Tulsi, but it has a different smell to it. It's not bad, at least to me. Probably more of a medicinal type smell. The tag really didn't tell me a whole lot. It just called it Tulsi basil, a stimulating herb for our immune system, also known as holy basil, annual, 70 days to maturity, full sun to partial shade. So let me talk a little bit about how they come back. The tree Tulsi is a perennial that's supposed to stay with you, and if it dies back in a rough winter like mine, it's supposed to come back. If it's not too rough, I guess. I don't know how to do it at the North Pole, but you know what I'm saying. This one here is not known for seeding and coming back, but I'm pretty sure it gives out seeds. And like I said, I haven't grown this one before, and I'm not sure the proper name for it. And because the nursery didn't tell me, so I don't know which one I have. I do know it's a Tulsi. But I would say if it blooms and has seeds, there's a chance that it could come back from seed. But the first one that everybody likes, that makes tea out of and everything, the Kapoor, it is known for reseeding and coming back. Although Mine didn't this year. So down in the valley it did, but this year it didn't because I'm up here and it's a little colder and maybe the circumstances just aren't as good for it to come back. But we'll see as time goes. But yeah, that's a little bit more about the Tulsi. Tulsi is a wonderful, wonderful herb. Don't get too caught up in all the different kinds and all that. Just get you some Tulsi because all of them have good stuff in it for you. And it, especially the Kapoor, makes a wonderful tea. I haven't tried this one yet. I did mix my tree Tulsi with my tea Tulsi last year, and that was fine. I couldn't really tell any difference. It was good. I didn't have any problems. So, yeah, a little bit about that. Okay, two more things I want to say. One is, let me get this out of the way. I'm not a doctor. I don't profess to be a doctor. I've studied and learned a lot of things, and I just enjoy sharing with you things that have helped me, things that I've learned about what God has provided for us. Okay, and we'll leave that all there. The next thing I want to say is I was thinking about the Tulsi and all the different kinds, and I thought how much that was like people in general, because there are so many different kinds of people, and all have their own special gifts, I guess I could call it. Some do one thing and some do another. But we're all human beings. And we need to accept each other as that way. One may seem to have less of what might, that you might get along with than another, but they're still a human being. That doesn't mean that we have to hang out with people we don't care about hanging out with, that make us uncomfortable, that do things they shouldn't do. We don't have to love what they do, but we should love them. And in that case, that means we would be sharing Jesus with them, or if they're thirsty, give them a drink of water, or if they're hungry, give them some food if we can. But it doesn't mean, just because we don't see eye to eye with them, doesn't mean that we hate them or have nothing to do with them or won't help. That's not how we're supposed to be. We are to love others, and who knows, maybe they'll come around, maybe they'll see that you have something they don't have. And they might say, hey, I want what she's got, or I want what he's got. And maybe they'll learn about the right things and how to live life and how to love others. And you don't know. Just like the Tulsi, there's different kinds of Tulsi. There's different kinds of people, like plants in general. There's some plants that are poisonous, but God still made them, like poison oak, or poison ivy. I don't know as much about poison ivy, but I know that it does kind of the same thing. When I was living in Kentucky, we had poison ivy instead of poison oak. Basically the same thing, just a little different version. But they say there is some medicinal benefits if you know how to use it. I don't know anything about that. I don't care to try. I'm just not interested right now. I find other herbs to do the things that I need to do with. But if that was the only thing you had, now look at this. Ah, I do have mullein growing here. It's a little pitiful, but it is a mullein. Yay, I think. Looks like it, feels like it. If it's not, it's a relative. I'll have to come back and look at that a little closer. Okay, so, sorry, back to me and plants. There's all different kinds of plants, and even if it's a poisonous plant, maybe God has a reason for it. So, and there's different kinds of people, and hopefully they come around if they're too far off, and maybe they're just different, and maybe someone else would really enjoy them. Maybe it's just not the type of person you want to hang around, but it doesn't mean you be mean to them. It doesn't that you're gonna not only be mean, but you just you want to be kind. And I don't know, just some thoughts I was having about it. Wouldn't the world be a better place if we could all just love one another, even though we may have differences of opinion? Doesn't mean you have to change your opinion about things or what you feel is truth. Like I said, you can share Jesus with them. You can share a glass of water with them. These are those vines I told you I cannot stand because they grow everywhere. They grow up. They take things over. They grow in the ground and trip you up. But they're getting ready to open up and blossom. I don't know if you can see that in the camera. And they really can be beautiful. They can cover up ugly areas like slash that's been dropped in the woods and make it look pretty. So I guess it has its benefits, doesn't it? And there may be people that we don't care for, but maybe they have their benefits some way, maybe even in a way we don't know. And I'm going to close, and this is Deer Brush, and leave you all with those thoughts. We'll catch you next time, guys. Give me a thumbs up if you would. Bye now.